Hi guys, welcome to Darren's Computing Corner, and today we're going to be having a look at a beta of Windows 98. Now I tried to set up build 1500 before and it didn't work, so I'm going to try again and see if I get any luck. But before I do that, I need to set the dates. So we want then May the 12th, 1997. It's important to do that because it will automatically expire otherwise if you don't. So now when we look at the date, it should now come up as the 12th of May. And now we're going to setup. Let me try that again. Yeah, this comes to show that I need to be fully set up. In order for this to work. But there's build 1500 because I'd stuck in the time and the date had expired, so let's retry that. Yeah, there we go. And this is what we look at. Let me just put that in so then you get to see what that looks like. It's rather interesting what we've got there. Then let's continue. I've noticed that the enabled sound on there is greyed out, which I can only assume that there's no sound because we don't have a sound driver installed. Of course, I accept the agreement. And then we'll go custom because I like to see what you can install. Bit of hair on my keyboard. Didn't want to do that. Oh, come on. Good job that remained. Because that would have been frustrating otherwise. So we're on the select components, which is what you get in the custom setup. Sorry, my chair is sinking. It's yeah, that's what you do. Right, there we go. So let's just sort this out. So I've gone through the accessibility options, and then we want the accessories, which I shall show you what they are. So I've got a briefcase, character map, a clipboard viewer, desktop management, and wallpaper, and there's some games there as well. A Memphis tour, which would be interesting to look at. And then we've got some screensavers. There's paint as well, system monitor, animator, task scheduler, and there's WordPad. It's a shame that WordPad has been scrapped as in build 24H2 of Windows 11. Just say no to that for a moment. And that's everything installed, or that's everything about to be installed. We've got Windows Logon. These are all the adapters. We've got VPN support as well, which is rather interesting. Click next, and we're next again. Right, we need to change a few bits. So change the keyboard layout to British. And obviously, because I come from the UK, I'll change it to the following. I wonder what we've got there. We can use the Program Manager instead of the Start menu for Memphis if you wanted to. No, because I don't want to override my disk, my Windows 95 disk. And it says, interestingly enough, it says there it's got 2 minutes left. This will take a lot longer than 1 minute. And an interesting usage of Times New Roman as well. It's always interesting the way that I see how these go about, how these all get, all the layouts. I'm finding that quite difficult to see because it's white on top of light grey, and the black's even more difficult to see, particularly when you've got the gradients there as well. I've set the BIOS date for the 12th of May 1997. This beta would have expired on the 30th of July. So you could just about imagine that you'll get your license expiring warning before you've had a chance to fully set up. This has FAT32 support, so I could have done this on my 150, but never mind. I was thinking at this point, do I have my other hard drive? Don't think I do. No, I don't. Okay, never mind. I'll just remind myself to set one up off screen before I format the computer. But even then, I'd end up having to do like a WordPad or a Notepad document. Whichever one I think of at the time. I'll then have to redo that once I've set up the hard drive, because in that way all the files that I make and that will still be there. Memphis Beta 1, so you get to see the startup screen as well in a bit. be a cross between Windows 95 and 98, because this beta became what we know as Windows 98. Now we get rid of the floppy. Getting ready to start Memphis for the first time. Well, that's interesting. I didn't get my expiration warning like I did when I tried to set it up off screen and you've crashed. That always happens. Let me restart. Of course it didn't load fully because you wouldn't cooperate with me. Hopefully you will this time. I definitely need to get a new office chair. This one's sinking faster than the Titanic. The leather's peeled off, completely peeled off one of the arms as well. It just happened. So it wasn't like this when Donna gave me this chair at first. But then the bits that kept the screws in and kept coming out, so I was on about these, they kept coming out, and then the leather started to peel off. This arm is absolutely fine. It's just this one has been completely battered. I'm just going to stick my phone into Do Not Disturb. Just so I don't get disturbed while I'm trying to make videos. I'm looking forward to seeing how this comes about. Now I've moved the profile, set the hardware profile up to be Windows 98. Because the last time I tried it, I was on Windows 95. I set up for Windows 95, Windows 95, and it gave me all sorts of errors, and then had a fault, which then meant that I had to start it up in safe mode. So hopefully, now that I've set it up with the hardware profile of Windows 98, it won't give me any grief. Getting ready to start Memphis for the first time. You can only see what's going to happen. If this doesn't work, it looks like it's going to crash. Fiddle about with my memory stick while I wait. Yeah, it looks like it's going to crash. It did crash, I thought it would. A fault has occurred, causing the virtual CPU to enter the shutdown state. Right, well, there's only one thing I can do with this then. And that's enter it in safe mode. Let's see what I can run in safe mode. If I can run safe mode at all. It looks like it's doing something. Love the fact that this is a cross between 95 and 98. It just means that we won't be able to continue setup all the while that we're in safe mode, because then this part, the part that's just finished, it looks at all the other hardware that you don't, there we go, and any devices that you might have. Windows cannot detect and install your devices while it's running in safe mode. But if I don't have it running in safe mode, there's a fault on the virtual machine. So we'll just run it in safe mode. We have a 1.81 gigabytes left of the 2 gigabytes that I've set up. Although it said 1.99, and there are no programs. Guess you can't run any programs in safe mode. Let me see the hardware. Device manager. Well, everything's there. That needs to be. This is really a rather shame. Let me see also if I can find a loophole. I can run programs in safe mode, you just have to do it through your Explorer rather than that of, you have to do it through Windows Explorer rather than the Start menu. That's good to know. And then I'll just toy about. I mean, look at that. Wow. It's funny. Oh, my mouse just loves going all over the place. Now that looks like a TI ligature. Let me just close the gap. Yeah. Try that again. This is really rather interesting, this version of Paint. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to save that though. No. And then we've got other ones as well. So I see WordPad. I only see WordPad and Paint. See what fonts we've got. There we go. I think I'd prefer Arial here. Let me just come out of that and say no. I would go for the 4-week warning. I am going to go for the 4-week warning. So now I do remember saying that this beta expired on the 30th of July 1997. So this will give you a this should give you a 4-week warning. And it does. It says your license for this pre-release software has expired. Please upgrade to the final product immediately. And then it gives you a 4-week warning at the bottom. This pre-release version of Memphis will expire on the 30th of July 1997. After that date, you will no longer be able to use the software. That's it. That's really rather interesting. And then what I'll do after that, it still says getting ready to start Memphis for the first time. But I think I'm going to have to start it up in safe mode again. Because it looks like it's going to crash. It did crash. Get rid of that warning. Let's do safe mode with network support this time. See if it's anything to do with the network. Because it worked in safe mode without the support. Let's see what happens with it. Going to be an interesting discovery. Just wait for this. It's going to be fun. Just to try and work out whether or not... it does work in... It does work with network support. But you still can't do any devices in safe mode. But now it says safe mode with network. That's really rather interesting. Got the safe mode in either corner, in every corner, plus the build at the bottom. Now I want to show you what it does when the build's expired. So I'm going to fast forward this to December 1997. And I think I'm just going to restart it this way. Right, well, I don't think it sorted out the date. Oh, look at that. Let's put it back into safe mode. I think I was meant to restart it normally. Now, join me back in a bit, guys, and I'll see you back in safe mode. See you in a bit. And welcome back, guys. You've just joined me back in safe mode. And I've now set the time and the date to the 2nd of December 1997, and once again I'll show you what happens when this build's expired. That's what you get there. So instead of a warning, you now get an error, and it says, this pre-release version of Windows has expired. Contact your vendor for a new version of Microsoft Memphis. And this is what happens next. This shuts down. I'll turn it back on. And look at that. It's amazing what a beta can do, particularly once it's expired, the older ones. That's it. You get nothing. Absolutely nothing at all now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.